Rareware is a once-beloved game company known for creating many classics such as Banjo Kazooie, Donkey Kong Country, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and as well as many others. In 2002, Microsoft bought them so they could develop games for them as a first party. This created a dark age for Rare, during which they were cursed to make only ports and subpar Connect games for them majorly. That all changed in 2015 when Rare announced something big at E3. After 2 years of waiting, Sea of Thieves was released in March of 2018. It was met with critical and fan praise, even before the original launch during the betas and scale testings, which is what got me interested. Despite being referred to as a modern classic of the video game industry, Sea of Thieves was still met with contempt and criticism post-release for the alleged lack of content. This is my personal story of my experience and overall opinion of the game. I used to play an online game called Pirates of the Caribbean Online. I would spend hours and hours in the MMORPG on my old Vista laptop, and still felt like I could go on forever. I loved the environment, the ship battles, the fighting. It was all my literal definition of a perfect pirate game. Although I left the game long before it had shut down in 2013, I still resented it. Sea of Thieves has reignited that same feeling in me, of being truly free in a pirate world, and so much more. The love of adventure, sailing, and being a pirate brought me joy. However, it's not just the nostalgia for a game long past dead that has fueled my enjoyment of this game. That is merely a small piece of the bigger puzzle I've made in my experience with the game. You always know when a ship is coming towards you it's a real person, as there are no NPC ships. It can end in delicious victory or a crushing defeat, based on your decisions made by you or your crew. Not only in the actual gameplay, but whether or not you would prefer to pillage and plunder with a merry crew of pirate allies, or as El Lobo Solitario, depending on whether or not you want to be a solo pirate, exploring with the smaller sloop doing whatever you please, or having another join you aboard your quaint vessel of being the masters of your own domain until someone decides to attack or you're just bad at the game. The other option you are presented with is the Galleon, an absolute tank of a ship that makes up for its lack of maneuverability with its 8 cannons, allowing you to be a force to reckon with, unless you're still bad at the game. Now, this isn't the only customability you have to play the game, as it is cross-platform with Xbox and PC, being able to play with anyone even if you don't have the other system. Sorry to anybody that doesn't have an Xbox or PC, but you made that mistake yourself. This puts less restrictions on who you meet and play with, allowing a more vibrant and populated world. The content in the game is a really fun aspect as it presents you with 3 main trading companies. You got Golden Boys, Skeleton Fellas, and the British Navy. People have complained about the lack of content in the game and its repetitiveness, and if you do one set of quests a lot, then yes, it is boring. However, there is so much more than even the 3 trading companies, like the Skeleton Forts, dungeon server-wide raid events that, in a sense, give you waves of skeletons to fight as well as other ships to show up and claim the sweet prizes within. There are even limited time campaigns and weekly events that appear alongside every major content update, and create even more variety in the world. The content is not the issue with the game. Sure, the launch could have been better, but it was indefinitely understandable with how much thought was put into the actual scenery. Music in Sea of Thieves is some of the best original music I've listened to in a game. Depending on situations you are in, the music will change and give you an atmosphere appropriate to that area. Hitting ships with cannons, killing the captain's skeletons, and so much more give you specific musical cues to go along with that victory. This is nothing new, we've seen this in many games. However, this game has something most don't. You can play songs. Using whatever instrument you like, and they are adding more, you can play a shanty with your crew. Now looking at the technical side of this, whoever starts the tune will be followed with a bass that will match directly with it. So no matter what, the music is going to sound amazing. Some examples of these songs would help as music is more listened to than anything else. Bosun Bill is a silly and catchy melody that will have you humming it for hours, as many of these songs do, in its light-hearted tone. Becalmed is a warm and inviting somber song that gives you an emotion like nothing else, and you will be entranced. Many more songs are in the game and will be added, so knowing a playful soundtrack will be accompanied with an adventurous one. Talking story-wise, surface level, the world doesn't throw too much at you. Although, as you search around and dig up a bit more, you can see a vast and rich lore that lays out the story of the Sea of Thieves. From books to NPCs, the many islands hide a lot for people to uncover as they play, more or less depending if you are looking for that in a game. The graphical style of Sea of Thieves is a huge part in why it is so fun to explore and sail. The water. Whoa, mama! The water is gorgeous. If you went around the world and did nothing else but stare at the water for an in-game day, you could still be very happy. The classic, rare cartoony look makes the game look distinct. And despite not being gritty and photorealistic like so many other games, the art choice lends well to the feeling that you are supposed to have while playing. The islands have 3 biomes as of the time of this video, and each one looks and feels different depending on where you travel. The wilds to the east is a bleak, rocky wasteland. The shores of plenty in the west is a much more visually stimulating region, with Gatorade blue water and islands that many would legitimately love to live in. Ancient isles of the south are full of mystery, and tell stories of the tribes that once governed Sea of Thieves, as well as the entities they worshipped. Weather that goes from a bright blue sky to a storm, which will sink you if you're not careful, all make sailing a much more immersive experience. This game is not perfect. Even with its extensive alpha and beta testing, it still experiences bugs due to how large the world is, even with the amount of time they spent developing it. The optimization of PC to Xbox cross-compatibility has exacted a large toll on the workload of the game, essentially creating 2 games and making sure they fit together in the very same servers. Crashes that end your game, collision errors that teleport you to your boat, long loading times and so on are all experienced even now, but Rare has been proactively fixing the many issues. They have listened to the fanbase, utilizing social media, message boards, the subreddit, and more to see what the fans truly want. They understand they don't always know what's best, and they listen to and provide what the people want from their game. A goal that is rare to see nowadays. Nevertheless, they know what their audience is asking for, and have created advancements that only people who truly wanted a better product could provide. Here's some footage of me playing the game.
It was not easy to choose the best. I think we all knew it would end this way.
It's him static, him being a failure.
Sea of Thieves is a game that will be updated and changed, the same as an MMO, to make sure players are refreshed in their world, through events and campaigns galore. It's not an online game that you play a couple times and get something new. It's a game that you can stick to and progress with. Meeting others in the world and having friends to play with add layers of joy that can only be matched with the world built to play with. It is a warm game when it's calm, an exciting one when action is afoot, a silly one when you're drunk, and a suspenseful one when met with other players, or finding that treasure after sailing across the seas to get it. It is as satisfying as it is innovative. This game has marketed itself perfectly to what it is, a simple pirate game. The end game is Pirate Legend status in getting all levels of the trading companies to 50, but that is far from the end of this game. The amount they are putting in and already have will keep you plenty busy after you hit the marker. It will only start if you want a true pirate experience, with the amount of thrill and joy you will have with it. All future DLC patches are free, so new journeys are always in mind as the world grows in Sea of Thieves. They are adding to it like an MMO, which is just like an MMO I used to play long ago, sailing the seas and looking for new adventure. I'm Synthstatic. Thank you for watching.